Hannah, how are you? Oh, hi, how's everybody? Mulishani. Hi, Elia, how are you? Mulishani. Greetings. Mulishani, it's afternoon here, guys. Afternoon show for here in California. Late night show for Zambia. Hi. Today I'm in a low energy level, so nice late, but it's afternoon here. I know it's 22 hours in Zambia, but kuna kulala, guys. Kuna kulala. Hey, Lawrence Mwelwa, good to see you. Honorable Mwentungulush, good to see you, Mwelwa. Share. We have a lot to talk about. As usual, we can always find something to talk about. There's always something to talk about. Yeah. Oh, 23:19. Okay. Here it's 14:19. It's 2:19 p.m. Kasua, you can see it's afternoon. So I just got done with my day, handling my businesses, meetings, cooking, cleaning, shopping, and then getting ready for the show. Yeah, so it's a discipline, guys, to run to be a content creator and running the page almost 5 years solid now. It's work, but I work. It's work from home, so you just gotta be disciplined and make sure you do what you need to do. Take care of yourself, take care of the house, and take care of your business, and come live. So we are here. Catch up with everything that's happening. Is going to get more and more intense as we head to the elections. Yes. So let me just share. And I will play some music as I share. Kuna kulala kuzambia kuchimulelala. Mukasanga nabashitishe mpanga shenu bill 10 hiyo. Bill 13. Bill 13 is the land issue. Mukasanga nabamishitishe. Mukasanga Bill 13 na ipita. Ama title deeds yenu wa registrar nabachita revoke. Akulalen. Akuna kulala. Abera Zambia. Bill 13 is showing deferred land issue. Land issue. Excellent, excellent. 2319. For us, for me here, it's afternoon Pacific Standard Time. So I'm in the West Coast, California, Pacific Standard Time. It is 14:21 local time. Akuna kulala, mukalala ba mukasanga na bapela registra ukula mipoka ama title deeds yenu. Fida bachire bill shani yo. Cyber bill, yari bill shani cyber bill. Cyber bill bayipishishe obushiku na mulala basaina. Hey. Akuna kulala bena Zambia. Let me check Parliament websites. Thank God for the internet. Mukalala na bapisha bill 13. I'm telling you. These people ain't playing. Mukalala, mukabuka bill 13 na ipita. Fijaba pishishe bill ya cyber bill. Kachinga yali ni cyber shani. Nomba ni lo. Naya agriculture na yena. Ba ipishishe na tulala. Iya bill ya agriculture yena shaishi wefyo ya indiri. Right now they are like pending bills. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. There are 17. Oh my God. Yep. 17 bills are pending. Bill 7 is pending. A karambe. Bill 7 naena, we have to watch it. Bill 7 kachinja fiance. Akuna kulala, we have to watch Bill 7, Bill 13 naena makesa mkula mipoke mpanga nganwebo opposition. If you are opposition like me, walikuwa taka title kubuka fyo wayakuli ba registra kudia. Why someone afi ba isaku ba kutamtia palandio byachi ba kita revoke. I am a bill yabu nan draconian bills. We have draconian bills in parliament, guys. Bill 13 mukachitana mulala bamipona mwasanga fiatli title webadi senda Bill 13 na Bill 7 ini roadmap. Bill 7 is a roadmap to dictate to one party state. Bill 7, Bill 13 kuposa kwa mano bena Zambia akuna kulala. All right, so let me play some music before we get started. So I'll open the panel. If you want to join and say anything, you're welcome. I'll just moderate. I will moderate. This is a people's channel, so you are welcome. You are welcome. I'll just play a song.
Boots are made from a single piece of premium American leather.
Zambia is anonymous. 2026.
Holds the key. A cyber bill, cyber crime. Voices fading, echoes lost. Freedom's price, cyber crime. In a digital world, here's a cyber bill signed at night, secretly to curb your voice.
Zambia anonymous. Zambia anonymous.
Spoken out in
2026.
You can't say your names, your voice is AI. Lost in the wires, in the cold, Zambia is anonymous. You can't say your name, your voice is AI. Lost in the wires, in the cold, Zambia is anonymous. You can't say your name, your voice is AI. Lost in the wires, in the cold, Zambia is anonymous. Zambia anonymous, faceless, blameless, blameless. Time to speak their last word. Zambia anonymous.
Hi, Mama Elia. How are you? Good. I'm tired today, so the floor is yours. You are the host. Mulipa mupando lero. Nimwe omwe baliku.
Kulimbe kurema.
The mupando is yours, Mama.
Ya. Kulinchito ku Zambia. Badabwisa abantu. Yapaka pride maning, pride. Ya. Mbinga tuamba kobo. Machiefs wonse nkubabere koko. Bajibe bakwamba wezu muntu razanda banange marandi. Oyinsa na shonse shiba kwetesha shabu chief urabananga. Nguma plans yako yazo. So wakankara relax wamverere TM chabe tisaine ibiu 13. Nishimwazita ya mumanzi. Nishimwazita drowned mumanzi. In the deep ocean. Yeah, so they need to be careful. They need to use wisdom. Our chiefs, konse kumubere koko nankudi everywhere. 72 tribes, yeah. Use wisdom. Remember, you have been chiefs for a long time. and somebody comes from nowhere just because he was voted by the Zambian people, he has betrayed. You betray all of you. This is not this is not just talking here. It's not a laughing matter. It's a serious matter.
Welcome vapona vandu nachafa kuposha vaguest vesu. Mama Honorable Queen, how are you? Anna, how are you? We are here, guys. Bill 13 land issue.
Bill 13, it's not good. It's not a good.
Bill 7 naena.
Bill 13, 7. These are devil incarnate.
Not recolonize. Vale for kushtishe chalo. Vala shtishe chalo.
Hi mama, long time.
Yes. Imwe America, umwandira America yalikaba. America ni pamunobe.
As a Zambian citizen, I'm so worried about whatever I was watching yesterday about the chief. You know, the chief being invited, the whole city of Zambia, Babe, that come here. I don't know what is up for. Our president, we don't know, but anyway, we are praying. Our chiefs, they have wisdom. So I'm sure they are going to do the greater things there. Not to the president, the way he was insulting the chief. I saw you were not standing when singing in an incarnation anthem. You are not even singing. No, how can you command the big people like that? Hey, what a shame, but now our God is watching. Our God is watching.
Today landa fye mufitundwa putrosiga ba Honorable Queen kwamba mihobo yako otuzwa. Gutegwa ma chiefs yonse mujisinga kaba wahetwamba. Awasunukulega kulega kwamba ola jikuwa kambo twamba jikuwa tolema basa tolema.
Our God is watching. God to fight for us.
I'm Mwasilozi. I'm not so fluent Mwasilozi. So message yeo.
Me at least Bemba can speak. Blows is not very much.
Okay. Ona chora inyani. Kono message rubata kubulera ma Atishan, what are chiefs in Lozi?
Linduna.
Okay. Rubata kwa mbora. We need to sharpen our skills. Campaign yala shupa to play your local language. You utwa. In campaign yala shupa because we have to speak in our languages so that our people can hear us. Lulukanela kwa
I forgot
Mwandini. Rwamikopa vina wabuha 5 mwinzi fluent mwamushobo. Mwatafa TikTok mbola mwabule ya mushobo wa mina so that wakanga ka clip kale ni kweza circulate mwama group ya mishobo ya mina kakuli rubata kuri mutu ni mutu mwasichaba sa Zambia se 73 tribes kaufera bazibe zeza hara kwa parliament Parliament ya teni bambolanga mwaskua chwale kwa rural population bale batu abayinzi mwamizi kiba bangata huru bakautwa chwanyi makande awatausanga mwa parliament mwasikua so far lubata batu kaufera mwa Zambia banota fa TikTok aba bulera ona fa TikTok zeni bulera mwa mushobo wa mina so that after live nani kanga ka clip kale nkukeza clip kale kom tauses abatu kwa mushobo wa mina na keza clip njiki mwasimbunda njiki mwasikaonde na keza clip ni kweza distribute kwa mahaye kaufera Zambia kaufera batu balukanira kuutwa zeza hala mwa Zambia kakuli nako ye mwa parliament fe mwale babulanga fera sikuwa watu baluna abazibirize ezahara mwa parliament fa kutire bill 7 bill 13 yeo yeba batakufa registrar kwale kwa malanzi kunoya muhabatuma title deeds a land ape mabani ruboni ma chiefs kaufera linduna kaufera mwasicha wasa Zambia ne bababizize kwa state house kwale aruzibia agenda ya 10 akuna ma meetings aruzibize no bambozi kono ne rubona fera bo president inge bahari fera ma chiefs treso no baba hari fera kisi kama nyi ape ma chiefs zono baba bizeze kwale kwa lusaka kisi kama zono why were they invited there ni nchi bali tira ma chiefs yonse weyakunka kulusaka chihi bali ubambira hi so ano kamubola bathu bonse sobamu almulla goji wase otatuna kuamba olino tunakwide kwamba ola miho yakho tuzwa makwini ngafweni ko
Ati mishoboka ufela koluzwelela unamzwela kwa Mungu shangwe mina kwa Mungu batu bakwa Mungu nibo bonduna bomani bao wo chief bakuluna kafa muntu sise kafa kwa mwile kafa kwa lusaka kafa kwa mbizile shangwe kafa mwiye ni meto ya mangata kape ni mazebe ya mangata amka otwaza bambulela kafale mane balozi landiale amna kuibona fateni ni batu ba Mungu bakakai go Western Province kaufela bakanyanda so isini mwasaina za kusaina saina somza zibi kafo isini mwasaina mane ndawa Zambia kaufela bona bakanyanda kaufela stawa samwa Zambia ma chief kaufela kwa muzwele la kafo mane isini kuwa mwela mashere ni ma envelope bakampa ma envelope uti mulubelezo batakweza bao bo president bao mane kafla muzi hane mina machifu bazwela kwa alimu mulimu kone yamibe ile fateni 4 akimina machifu bakweza ndo bakuvota batili mwana votela ngabo president batili mina machifu bazwela kwa alimu kafale mulimu kone yamiketile kuti mube machifu kama kafa momwe inezi mwando mama town momwe inzi so isini mwamwela mashere ni shangwe lwala pela osho shangwe
Voritunga vomwataka zembe mambuya baluna kwa lubemba mwe bambuya banzi mwe mfumusha ku lubemba mkwai tulemita mkwai mwe mfumusha ku lubemba twafuka matwakonkula mwe mfumu tekumfira okusaine filifyonse tulemilomba lwa mikupa ba daughter of Zion landeni ko muchitundu naimwe ba innovative landeni ko nomba kuita campaign mufitundu pakuti twakula tuputuro tuma clip yutu twatuma muma group twafika kumishi bali kolonga nyemfu mukudya natwishi bati bill 7 balefo ayipite bill 7 balefo okuyipisha kulina bill 13 year land yo bakula imafe bapoka abantu impanga mwe mfumushesu impanga asset ya muntu uli wonse chalo chonse umuntu wonse inheritance na mu Bible mwe bapepesha mu deteni kwa ma scripture ya kutufunda pa lidese fyo atulaya inheritance ya land mwe bantu bakwalesa quoting ina ma scriptures mwe bapepesha mwe baishibe chebo cha kwalesa ukweba bena Zambia imfumu mwana ngo twapokere independence mu 64 abasungu tabayikete kuri land even if kwali bama bill yali ayakwebati Commonwealth bali kwata ma title the Commonwealth still has ownership ku land ya Zambia efyo tufiri okula putaula fidia tatufune nomba ama chiefs yale kwata ma meeting no buteko kwebati ubuteko busende customary land muland what development of farming block fiatire nga mwasaina fiefiri fyonse mukasangati impanga shonse bapoka mu Zambia ubuteko tebwa kuchetekela monene fe basaine bill 7 natulala kutulo twaisabuka twasanga muni cyber bill. So if you have land the issue, you can't trust you will take up book sign if yonse. Mukabuka land n'abasenda bakala mifunya pamalandi yenu kukala buke nkondo fidya bala abantu baleba kuma Ukraine na kuma Gaza ni land balerwila abe ne balandi bali batanti yamo abe ne bahakainde tetubachetekere because tabayisa ne chinka mukuteka abantu abe ne bahakainde futi eba aliko ku privatization lilya utwampa litwachalo chonse to elo bashitishe no mbalelo kutumwa abachetekera shanu kwe bati balachita ifin tufyala twala bali fidwa muli 4 years umu mone nubuchusho bo baletere ero na kumalawi uko kwine efire kitika kumalawi atina kumalawi bale punda 2090 uli abatanfi shepo akwete agenda imoine na yababene abalipo so they are one and the same bale ba controller ku bantu bamobene ningufati na kumalawi eche bale punda babene abakwacha nichagwero yuwalusa ale punda 2090 fimo fine fya upuba fya lechika kumalawi efire chika na muzambe fya kulabwe shabantu kunuma so nantu kana mwebe na Zambia mwemfumu welcome back. The floor is yours.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you. Nalanda komuchwemba. First the child chabulanda. Obulanda ukumfa bakateka leso by HH. Nave minina. Can you imagine nave minina? Infumu na shikala. Nave minina. Takwava vakaunda tavachitile poife vachitile vachiluva tavachitile poife vachitile vamwana wasa vasata. You can name them all the past presidents, and I'll tell you why. If we ine nafumakulu apula right from Chief Kazembe, the paramount chief vakapale Mwata Kazembe. That's where I come from. When we are going there to see him, my sister, we don't stand. Right to get before Tamula Ingila, what they call the palace, we call it Ichipango. There is the first entrance, then the second entrance to when you can see even the royal palace and all. You knew it. In those days, the Kwadina Loni ya Palamine from Upepi Nenganda, which we call Nganda ya Malatamulund. You will know it doesn't matter whether with the Muli Suti, the same way you guys honor the Litunga. I cannot stand in front of the Litunga and talk to him like he's my friend or greet him like he is the Litunga. It's just that simple. And the chiefs are chiefs. Our head of state, that's a political position and authority which is temporal. It's an electable, given authority. But the chiefs, there are no elections, Mweband. No. So, he is standing, and then, so I'm assuming that when he walked into that space, he expected them to stand to honor him, right? In a way, he has flipped power. He has put them in a subjective position and he wants them to honor him. No, that's an insult to our chief. So going back to Kazembe, you cannot greet him. No one, not even Basata or Bakaunda, used to greet our king standing. He never stands up to anybody. We are the ones who go down. In fact, you have to kneel and clap 3 times on this side, on the left, 3 times on the right. And only if he accepts you can you even not speak directly to him, but speak to the person who is in charge of the affairs in there. You don't talk to him directly. So there is the head of state. And in the manner in which he talked, I must say, he scolded them like children. That for me at that point I felt no. Either the people around him are very down. They have no regard for Zambian traditions. So there's no way he can talk to them like that. For us, Even I can give an example. If HH truly cared about Luapula, I would say if he went Kumutomboko, he would realize that Mwata Kazembe does not stand up. You can sing the national anthem, you can do all the political things you stand. He never stands up. The only time he will stand is when that gun goes. They shoot the guns in the air, signaling to him to stand up, and he only stand up because he needs to perform Umutomboko. No one else. So for him to portray like, even just the language, the way he talks to chiefs, the man shows no respect. But for me, I only think about his upbringing. Kashva Kulileshani by HH. Okay, let's assume the mother to HH and the father to HH were in that audience, and they didn't sing the national anthem. Would he have spoken to them the way he did? Because the men and women who were there, the chiefs, are old enough to be his parents. I believe so. Some of them, But the way he spoke, no, it was disgraceful. And then this thing, obviously he has an agenda. Why would he gather all of them in that one place like that? He has an agenda he wants to push. But you don't rule a country like that. For me, just what he did, and even to want them to say, I'm watching you, what does he mean? People must call him to account. What do you mean when you tell the chiefs, I'm watching you? He thinks they are not watching him? Sorry, he may come from southern province, but my friend, those people, some of the powers they use are not these powers. And then going back to the land, let's put it this way, in context. The very first thing that God gave when he created man was to give him authority over land. So land is our heritage. The water, the resources, and everything that is in it, it's us. And God gives specific instructions to say, tend it, look after it. It didn't say we start selling it to other people. No, we should tend it. In other words, make the land productive for our people. But I do believe that he must have a very serious agenda beyond his tenure of office. Otherwise, he wouldn't be pushing for land in this manner. It's in such a way that by the time he leaves, he would have already planted people in all parts of Zambia where he can benefit, and not necessarily the country benefiting. So, aba kwa mwata mi ndela ndakofi. Mweva palamina kuliva mwata vakapale vakazembe na mipapata. Na lomba, na fukama, na kunkula. Landeni komeva mwata tibeka saina ifintu ifikafumia land mumaka yabo. That is traditional land. Mwata Kazembe, you are in charge of Luapula province. Let's make Luapula a productive place that will feed, that will generate power to supply Zambia such that load shedding will be non-existent. You think of how we used to grow bananas just near Mansa there, Mununshi banana scheme, all those things. We can go back. Luapula can feed Zambia. It can be a good block because whether it's the Luapula province has enough water resource to do farming that will be working in and out of season. There are a lot of us who believe in the power and the potential that Luapula has. Land twa papa tamwata Kazembe na papa tamwanenga mlengu ufa na nguvambia bale ufa aba bako close na kuchipango na mi papa tamwe bantu bakwalesa muipela land kuli aba ababa muisa abayisa munshira shimbi bafaye bese badile fintu mu bufuntungu nami papa tamwe bantu bakwalesa land yaba kubantu not kuli ba government hello ulya nkandu Elvis ala kwena desa amwafilishe eshinjo kobati ububuteko bwako abako nabo nga bwapita ulya muntu akalanguluke fyali n'okuchita bushafinshe fyachitiri okwafilisha kulwapula tapali twapapa tamwe bantu bakwalesalesa mipale mugombi omutende sungeni chalo.
Thank you, Bake. Nara kaputula, if you mwalanda, message nara iputula, and I will circulate Muma group so that Abena Wapula they can circulate. Message to Mwata Kazembe. So to ala putula message to Mwata Kazembe and to all the all the chiefs in Zambia. I just googled something here and it says in the Bible, land is repeatedly described as God-given heritage, a blessing passed down from one generation to another, tied to a covenant, identity, and divine promise. Here are the keys ways land is seen as a heritage. A promise of God's covenant. God promised land to Abraham, his descendants, as part of his covenant in Genesis 12, 11, 15, 18 to 21. Land was not just a territory, but a sign of God's faithfulness and blessing. Land is an inheritance of generation. Land was viewed as inheritance that belonged to families, tribes, forever. Land belonged to families and tribes forever in Numbers 26, 52 to 56. Joshua 13 to 21. It could not be permanently sold because it ultimately belonged to God. These are the powerful words in the Bible. It's a symbol of identity and belonging. Each tribe of Israel received its portion of land, and the families were expected to preserve their heritage. So in the same vein, the chiefs, twami papata tomiwomba noma chiefs kuna kuma southern province, noma chiefs kuma Luapula ku northern ku eastern ku northwestern makamaka twahwati baba promised nani myoto kanani chaba promise akutegwa basaine na mavoti njoba yanda chita, but whatever they promise you mutasaini away your land nishimwashitisha your tribesmen. You would have sold your people into captivity, because once you sell that land to give it away to the government can have the power to sell that land to investors. We know in Zambia, anywhere you look, any land has got minerals of some sort all over Zambia. And the mappings of minerals was done way back. Our India government, they are not the first people to discover the minerals in Zambia. No. The mapping of Zambian resources was done way back.
Pre-independence.
Yes. We have actually the oldest gold mine in Zambia is in Mumbwa in the 1800s. They have been mining gold from Mumbwa over 100 years. Now look at Mumbwa. What is in Mumbwa apart from dust? They are still mining in gold in Mumbwa today. They started mining. It was among the first mines in Zambia, the gold mine in Mumbwa. So now, after 60 years of independence, we are still here trying to give our resources. As if it's not enough to give our resources, now we even want to give the land. Mina watu. Awe, kuchu wafurungana na mwisho.
God forbid.
It is not enough that they have mining licenses. Now they want our lands. Tukekala pesa. Twanibutuka mufiaru wabenge, everyone is in diaspora. Tulefwa yenchito. Babrube soko baba kuli. No baba brube sunga mwabapoko land mambo kula pero buteko. ubuteko ubwa makwebo. Can you trust twamilomba mwenfumu twamipapata mukepaisha abantu mukyalolo mukaleta enkondo fire abakugaza na kuma Ukraine efikesa mu Zambia because ababayiche balibuka they will stand bakesa mukubuka they will get up and fight for their own land. If this land is given away into an irresponsible government such as this government, yes, I can say it. This government is irresponsible. We can't trust them with our land. Tukabuka fe Zambia yonsena abashitisha. So tule milomba mwenfumu, please, dear Zambian chiefs, and we are inviting you to come here and speak in your language, and we shall send this message to your king, to your chief. We continue the spiritual meaning of owning land. Land symbolizes rest and security in God's care. Deuteronomy 12 verse 10. It represented fruitfulness and abundance, a place where God could live under his blessing. Exodus 3:8. A land flowing with milk and honey. Prophetic dimension. When Israel disobeyed, exile from the land was seen as a punishment. 2 Kings 17:7-23. Restoration to the land was promised as a sign of renewal and hope. Ezekiel 36:26, Amos 9:14-15. So we are just saying to the chiefs of Zambia, hold on to your land. Twami Papata, it's our heritage. In fact, you should start giving land to families. Every Zambian family should own a piece of land. People are moving away from the villages to look for a livelihood in the city. So, all these people in the cities should have a piece of land in the villages. This is what the government should do. They should set a program to make sure that every Zambian is tied to a piece of land in their village where they come from. You know? Like me, I am half Tonga and half Lozi. So, I should have a piece of land to my name in the village where my father comes from. And on my mother's side, it should be the same. But it is more easier for a foreigner to obtain land in Zambia. And now we see the president, you know, he corralled the chiefs and disrespected them there. And we don't know why they were called there. There was no meeting agenda. We want to know what the meeting agenda is. And we are also condemning how he stood there addressing the chiefs like little children in a classroom. We are condemning it. We are not happy that the president stood there and addressed the chiefs like they are kids in a classroom. Has he lost his culture? Does it mean that if you become a president, you lose your culture? The chiefs are representative of our heritage and our ancestors. Zambia was born 60 years ago. But those chiefs, they are there since when God created the earth. They are chosen by God in their family bloodlines. So you cannot come, even the colonial masters, Zambia, they respected the chiefs. So how can Mahaka Inde disrespect his own chiefs when he is a Zambian? But Yapatulelanda, if you know my chiefs, you won't say, please, Tommy Womba, not Yagusaina. Not Yagusaina Yamalandi issue at Walla Usainawa. You are going to sail your country down the river. you can't put customary land of the country into this government's hand or any government. The government's job is to govern, is not to own. What is the meaning of the word government? It comes from the word govern. What is the definition of govern? We need to tell this president to know that his job is to govern the country. And governing the country is not the same as owning the resources. Governing the country does not mean you are going to rule the country by giving so much power to yourself or people who you appoint to start grabbing properties of your citizens. That is not a government. It is oppression. Grabbing properties of your citizen for whatever reason, that is not governing. It is oppression. Changing the cyber law overnight while your citizens are sleeping is not governing, it is oppression. Introducing a cyber bill, which is a roadmap to dictatorship, that is not governing. It is a roadmap to dictatorship. So what did the president really come to do? Zambia. By not innovative mind, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The daughter of Madibija of Timayo.
So that tujite clip and then tujite distribute. So me wachende miwomba wakamwambira message kuma chief kuma Southern Province. Ayamara na landaya. Please, ni heritage yebantu benu. Don't sign anything.
I am actually Ngoni. I think I speak more than 10 Zambian languages.
So kamutaliga badala kamwamba. Gamuyagamwamba mumiho njemula kwanihe. Yes, nanga putaula.
Yes. Especially Fabio 7 in 13, even 14, but I read 14 na every teachers, but 7 after 13, they're very important.
But my teachers, why can't they talk? Why are the teachers quiet? Why are the teachers quiet? So jenturandile kwa ma chiefs ne fifia the dictatorship. Because the teachers, they are quiet. Why are they quiet?
Ndiye pechi ambira usapasiwa uremu. Poti yofe nyamuka kutoka kuma palace kwao noruta ku State House. Quite okay, we understand. Sikwarangata ina appointment yo lupaki na itaniwa. Lumba yuto chikavichinji. Ndiye konshoni na yo yamba. Tu, chintu chake ni ngala vile poncha. Constitution yatu. Munga mwene chikavilira poyamba. Mamipuni nelavila bot pauti tikaluta kwa kalinda wa lopalilero lupaki mzanzara kwa ukuimi olukwa chanje tizapeza kuti tina na mbuya basi kwala pauti vizungu ovimvwa lini komane antu amene wachita chinji wachitovota tikaluta kuchipangali lero tulite kuvuga kuli ambuya baso na basaza baso na bakuru baso yakine kuti okumva lini vizungu kuma parliament abantu wechivotera kuti balute mu parliament kuyolabirira ko bara bali kwasi kwa musoro kwala olo kwa chanji bana vota kuti taika muntu okuya mu parliament kuti akatirabirire ko mavuto yaso na vechifunika kuno kwaso ati akafika ku parliament arabira chizungu akafika ku parliament angalabirira inchinzenga angalabirira inchicheo akalabira chicheo akocha kuti what's the meaning of that amwese kuti ni matusho ayolomba tikaganiza bwino so the constitution must be visited why nalabira bukali yenkali nengesha kuti tingali na national anthem. National anthem inawera munjira yakuti there was a political arrangement somewhere. Ndishina nengesha kuti tingali na national anthem. But tinankara na mafumu kuchokera kuti mulungu mune wake. Chiefs are ordained by God himself. And if at all we check the Bible nicely, it is mandatory that each and every tribe, starting from the formation of the world, but in amafumu yao, yode mekezeka. And there are many wafumu ndiye baramulira charo chiri chonse kulingana na mitundu zao. Mwachiona ka? Lomba politics kwangala koma political arrangement yechirata kuti lomba kungali machita divide charo kungali Zambia kungali Zimbabwe kungali vichinji kungali na constituency na vichinji ndio vinalingesha kuti lomba tingali na machinja ya mangani yo imba national anthem kuti ngati unaimbe pa yakine unanyamuke wangala ni walandu amwe. If we were to look at this matter now, zinanzeru zorganiza jamusha mzafana kuti mafumu benzeko before national anthem, mafumu benzeko before my president, mafumu benzeko before my election, mafumu benzeko before my constitution. That's a fact, and nothing can change that. Maona te. So ine chanaona nchakuti pana ambira vuto mpauti mafumu mwenyamuka kutoka mpalasi yao nowela kuzofika ku state house pauta the invitation, whatever they were going to be taught, they would do exactly that. Then to where Ngani yarandi mamipumi mzavomera kuti each and every district that you can ever go to here in Zambia, foreigners are the people that a bigger land of that particular district. Foreigners ni watu wamene wapeseka kuti wali na landi ikulungako kuchera venekezi bacharo. And not only that, mzapeza kuti pake ni wanazungurusa waya noika maposters ya kuti private property. Your private property akapezeka kuti muntu maona te. So ngani yara ndinayo ngani mozi amene kuna kuti taranganisapo bwino twaro no bwino pandu ili shere tukeza sangati charo chonse bali shitisha tatoka kwati napa kuikara tukara mvape ayo hapa ipa lipa matongo pa mwisho hapa ipa lipa matongo pa mbuya. Zambia is a home for almost every part of the world, I should say. Maisanga kuli amarwandi, kuli amasomaliani, kuli bashani huko. Mwanzi wali samu Zambia. What are they following? They are following what we have. So ngati za samara landi yatu. Zabeza kuti tiriya na po. Wana eti akafyaro 2 years from now. Azabeza kuti waliye na maru pa uti angangari pali ponsa. I think having said delete it's only perere paper.
Yeah? Awe mailo wanaka.
ati mtalire mfuto mfyonzi twakutana kukaputana bwakucha serikali pamisha obuyonka yena ambako.
So mwanga mwachinje chitondo mwatweva che. When you change the language, you tell us the language. So what language now? So chiramwa chiralanda chitundunzi. Okay.
And then I switched to a bit of Lamba. Then I am now in Kaonde.
Because nakula tuputa or tuma clips.
Kaonde right away. Because there is.
Yeah, so I'll be cutting according to the tribe. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
There is an issue that I need to address.
Go ahead.
Yotsa kuita mbarandi na kwa kiswa. Musa kutana kuwamba mwa kunyuma kulingana na bakaunda biba yambika cha Zambia balam ma state farm. Twaketekeje kuwamba ma state farm yantu amwa konsha kuwamba nge ma government yo achikurondera hapo kufuma pe bakaunda ajinga na milango ya wama pa bantu ba Zambia bonse ngi batu achichire na my idea ya kupanga ma state farm in each and every particular district whereby nge kwa chinga kuamba amuma district na vichiza kupana example North Western kujima pineapple. So North Western nga kwa hubi nima kuji state farm Western province kujima cashewnut. Nga kwa ukwabele mba kuji state farm ina kuwaka ina kujima cashewnut. Au na uji kuma Western province, I mean kuma Southern province kwa sunga. Ama state farm nga tuwejanga makidora ntu bana kuwa graduate ma agriculture. Mama inga tuatajisha mkata namba state farm iji yonse papoteshi. Nsa kupana example kumumbwa kai jinongi mwaya kuka msa kuta namba nemiji yonse maiti mandi mwonse bajinga around that state farm. Beba pangiri bafupa kuikara pachino kinye bapoteshele pachino kinye botu na kuisamba aya state farm mjiba simba kikacho nge mwatajisha kuna kuwamba ate bene bacharo kuna kupangiwa nobe kampe bene bandanda yoyo na ngumpunja yoyo ine mushingi ya kechi paji mushingi kumafumu yetu nangwa kupana mushingi kubisho yetu yoto afuma kufwense mwembeshi aromu rusaka mumba rodi mkata namba nakupa jipa mpunja pajinga state farm lero jino putu na kwamba aya mpunja ya potishewu kata alengele kuwamba uwa ntuwa kuli kutuwa jijira na idea ya kuwamba bantu panakutuwezi wa makite wanakuba graduate mu agriculture then nekupanga nga bintu byana kupusana na mijima drink tauke nga tuwamba kupita uke kujimango mango nga wapanga ma drinks nae kubu kujima pineapple nga tupanga ma drinks nebyashara kumapoyi mapura kujime mavura nge kujimwa ko na biji sugar cane so that sugar tuwe na kuipangira burongo nebyashara bifuma mu sugar cane but parero jino kafa ko bina ko biganix ndanda yonse ina kupotisha watu kuma padero jino skulu yo yakafako wayako nikisi skulu yashara matongo twai tutajishi pakuwamba twara mandanda yetu mambo vana vana kusemwa pa chino chini cho chintu chimwe chotukevashira kwakura kuna mandanda yetu tukatangamba tufupa kuikara. I think imbelele ponga pano Mami.
Thank you. Yeah, mwavo ifitunde fatulefa ya nomba we want chila muntu kulalanda mchitundu chabo. Elo nkala tuputaula natu putaula. Elo natu tura tuachita circulate. We need these messages to be reaching all the four corners of Zambia. Effort to the fire. But
so Mami Pumi, what I was saying is President Kaunda had the idea of putting up state farms in some respective districts. But this time around, you find that no. I was giving an example. Lusaka Mumba Road, there is an area which used to have a state farm. This time around, that state farm is no more. I also give an example in Kaindu Chiefdom in Mumba. There is a place which used to be a state farm. But this time around, when you go there, you find that even the headmen that were around that area, they were chased away. Are dead by now. I remember way back, World Vision built a school somewhere around that area. This time around, as we are talking, that school is a ramshackle. Because the people that used to do areas were chased away. So my take was that if at all we had government Kaunda regime, they would have revamped the system of putting up state farms. I'll give an example. Let's talk of Northwestern Province. In Northwestern Province, there is a capability of growing pineapple. In Western Province, growing cashew nut. In Southern Province, there is a capability of keeping animals. So, Mampumi, Ayomi, visitors of Zambia, each and every particular district had a state farm capable of producing whatever produce they can be able to produce. I'll give okay. There's a capability of producing mini meal flour because everything. There is also a lot of mangoes. We would have been producing mango juice instead of importing yembe from Tanzania. We would have been producing pineapple juice from Northwestern Province. And the same state farms would have employed a number of people that are languishing after graduating from the schools of agriculture. But the question is, why didn't the governments that we have had after Kaunda never thought about this? If in there and it's something that I thought about. Ama fresh minds. Impose I think in shishin that constitution in angumuri agenda yakutekera mu cyaro. I think that's a more reason as to why to some extent I messaged you. We need to talk about this.
Well, it's really sad. Like if forever ikala kuno kumabulaya, we see the opportunity, you know. We see the opportunity of having pineapple in Mwenelunga because that is a export opportunity hapo pene. We can package my pineapples twaisa mkushitisha kuno. Cause kuno ku USA and in European countries, they don't grow these fruits. Some fruits are not grown. They don't grow, but they import, you know. So the opportunity is so big, like, wow, you know. When you look at even a cashew nut, for example, it grows in Western Province. Why we can't have cashew nut farms? It can't even be a government program. You can just tell people, akulimeni, and the government, the Ministry of Commerce and Trade, they can be buying those things to export, you know. You don't even need to put, just tell people if you grow this crop, soya beans, grow soya beans, but they are cash crops. A lot of bananas, USA, most of the, I think in the United States, they don't grow bananas because of the weather. So like in the USA, any day I want, I eat a banana. They import. So we have Wapula Munushi banana scheme, we can start growing bananas there. Kuno kwadi bafia fialo fimbifia kubachi weather, because of the weather they can't grow certain crops. Bananas, coffee is another $1 million cash crop. You know? Why can't we tap into coffee? You know? Kawambwa coffee, you know? Like the opportunity is immense. Coffee is like, oh my God, I have a dream to see package in a coffee shop, Zambian coffee. Now, what a dream yo. Because, you know, you go to coffee shops and you see Kenyan coffee, you see Colombian coffee, you know. Why can't we have Zambian coffee in Starbucks, you know, or other coffee companies? We go to a certain place, go to Shita Coffee. It's just like some man owns a coffee shop, you know. But he buys coffee from all parts of the world. Colombia, Ethiopian coffee is there. But Zambia, we have that. We don't even need to, the government doesn't even need to have farming blocks. They put in a program, start growing coffee, we'll be buying for you. And they can, and the government can buy the coffee and export it. You know? Why can't we do that? Why can't we grow coffee? Why can't we grow Zambian tea? Tea, if you go to India, Kenya, they grow tea. Why can't Zambia grow their own tea? Why can't we have Zambian coffee? Why can't we export pineapples? Cashew nuts cashew nuts karaka mtengo. Ama cashew nut tu no so. Ni high dollar a nut. And a lot of people, they are going into vegan and whatever. We can make milk, we can make chocolate sweets with cashew nut. Like the ideas are so like, it's like, wow, why can't our leaders for the past 60 years, why can't people who have sitting on chairs to make decisions, these ministers, after Wakaunda, they just go in the office mukunonka. You know, they are driven in these posh cars when they are ministers. Nakaflagi karembuduluka. And then when the political job ends, their life is done. Some of them die as poor men, you know, these politicians. They die as poor men when they have an opportunity to change lives. Not only their life, but also the lives of Zambians. That's why they die poor. Because their objective when they go to government is to change their life. Instead, they're changing the lives of people. Because if you change the lives of people, even when you retire, you will go and live with those people whom you helped to change their lives. A minister who empowered his village. For example, if you are from Kawambwa, plant a coffee tree. Tell villagers plant coffee trees in Kawambwa, in Luapula. Mwebena Kawambo, mwebena Luapula. Even abantu benu kukula byala ma coffee trees. You don't need to kutapirira kubyala fiemfula ila roka. Plant bananas. Plant tea. Ministers in Luapula, please, you all want to be president. Why do you want to be president instead of investing in your people and creating wealth? But you are all there. I don't know how many people from Luapula want to be a president. How many men and women from Luapula want to be a president? You are putting in the energy to try and be a president instead of putting in your energy to help the people's life. Direct the people. We want to plant a coffee tree. Even plant 100. Start with 10 coffee trees. People are sitting there doing nothing. So in Kawambwa, instead of people doing nothing, why don't you tell your people to start planting coffee trees? Coffee is a cash crop. You now quite banana internet. You even have internet. You can advertise your product on internet, and you can have international buyers coming to buy you Zambian coffee.
That's true. That's true.
There's a Nigerian man here. Alikuwa Tachi warehouse, a Nigerian man. He sells African food. Alesa mukuzambia mukushita kwa diwabali aba nakashati ba Sylvia aba longa ma dried vegetables wa imbalala ne misalu. The man comes, he has actually flew to Zambia. You saw international. He flew to Zambia. I went to his shop, and yet I was in Zambia. I went to meet the lady who supplies me my dry vegetables. I don't know if that woman, she's still doing it, but many years ago, yeah. So, you presidents, my Bemba husbands, tell your people to do small things like farming. You can't go wrong with food. You cannot. Tell your people to start a family. There in a land, there is a vast land in Luapula. Start telling your people to plant a coffee tree, plant an acre of coffee trees, plant an acre of tea, plant an acre of bananas. Tell your people, plant an acre of pineapples. Go to the Department of Commerce, get your license, you start exporting. You create a website, even on Facebook. You can use your Facebook page to advertise the coffee. How long does it take coffee? You know? It will be the gift that will keep on giving. Tell your people Nanguku Northwestern Nakwena. Tell the people there to start planting crops like coffee, banana, pineapple, tea. It will be the gift that will keep on giving. You know, you people who like winey, whatever. You know those vines. Our centuries ago, back to trim. Every year, we grapes, bayam kuswakuba panga wine. I share fresh fruit. The remaining grapes, they make wine. This is wealth passed on generation. These people who have wineries. Kale ba vineyard ba bieria kale ba mbuya ba bieria di ama vines vineyard. And they have set their families generation forever. bachitafe every year bachita trim ama grapes yapya yambi bachitisha bambi bampanga wine business. Why can't we do that in Kawambwa there? Plant cocoa, whatever, not cocoa. I don't think cocoa can grow in Zambia. Coffee, tea, bananas. Those are cash crop, high dollar. Ngabaye beli abantu abayiche kulya kumalwapula. Go and plan you know, or in your village. Everyone comes from a village. Get even an acre of land and plant coffee. And we'll buy it from you, ngayapi. Ngawabiala coffee ni leba pada pene urelima. Avocados too, yes. Kuro tuladia fionse ngana ya so kustoro. I can eat anything I want, any fruit. Ngana furuka mango, kuya adia mango. We can have mango plantations for export. Hello mango ya Zambia yari very sweet, nice mango, unique. Not ayama mango tulia kuno tulira fiecho chini. The mangoes we eat here na taste takwaba. But we eat kosura furuka filiafini na furuka mango. But imagine we have mango plantations in Zambia and we are packaging for export. South Africa supplies Nangwaku Europe. When I go to Europe, some of the vegetables they are grown in South Africa. Tomatoes, onions, whatever. Because some in the most countries in Europe, some vegetables they don't grow there. They only grow in the greenhouse. Muma greenhouse omo ba lime ma ifintu. Okay, now for active by innovative mind. So we are here to talk about you. You are there fighting for presidency. Empower your people. Tell your people to plant coffee trees. If bakaunda baliambire munushi banana scheme, you know, kawambwa tifionse filafiadifwa. Imagine if we continue those things. We'll be among the world top producers of high-grade tea, coffee and bananas. Mangoes, fiance fio. Irrigation, imimngani mulu apula na ngwifurata ilokele. Kuchwa itafia irrigates, valekita irrigates. File mena. Ama rice kulia kumongu, you know. Before we even talk about exporting to out of Africa, there are places like Congo where ni jungle. You know, Congo is a jungle. If you are dense kulima kulia, that's why barafidwa. We supply Congo. Kuna Namibia kulia kwa mama desert inga tunawachia supply. If you are kulia. Botswana kwaliba desert, but they rely on South Africa for their food. Namibia and Botswana because of the land they are backward. So mwemantu bakwaresa. Let's be serious. Ingamwaliwa kulwa pula this idea of coffee chimochi nena na pangama wine. Families who have wineries being their ancestors kunuma wineries yali. But up to today the wineries are still there and the families are still benefiting. So if you plant a cocoa tree today, your great-great-grandchildren will find that cocoa farm, the coffee farm, and benefit and expand on it. You have to start creating a legacy. And this is what we are saying to these leaders who are in government, who just come to lie and speak about utufumo twabo. Ngabai babali abai kuta. Government ingaya isa chinja bajala bale chura. Bambi baba kaka noku bakaka. Imagine if all the ministers that we had invested in their villages. If you are from Luapula, ensure in your village everyone plants a coffee tree. start a tea plantation, banana plantation. If you appreciate sala kuno ku United States, abasungu abayishire from Europe whether bayishire isa kuno ku United States, what they do basa pangama plantation. And they baisa cheap labor ku Africa. Ma plantation omubaleri, ma sugar, cotton, whatever. And they built this country na free labor ya fumini ku Africa. Nomba ifo kuzembe to alikwata labor. Why can't we capitalize on that? That's why I'm telling you, Polly.
The thing is, we have had individuals who are not innovative enough.
They are not there to help the people. It's not that buy some kuno nkata buy some kwafa abantu. They came to help themselves, They came to help themselves. Their way of making money is stealing. A way ya kupange mpia kuiba public fund. Instead of as a politician, your way of making money should be find projects in the community, which will be the gift that will keep on giving, that so that Nairobi as a politician inchtonga yapo kaya kukofi family yao wayambiro kaya mkula bomba. Now these politicians inchtonga yapo bakaya kuisa. Because business yabo yaba mu procurement, These politicians, they are all fighting to get in government so they can have a order to start supplying. Supply government. That's why our economy, the crasher. Because our politician, instead of making plans, kumushikuryoko bafuma cause abe ngema ministers ma MP, you see, system wali pekanya fye bwino. The system, if used properly, can work. Because the system, the way it is set up, ama cabinet ministers ma MPs. So, kuryoko bafuma ma MPs, ngani MP wakulwapula. Okay, nafuma pa mushipa kuchite chintu byale coffee mwamona but ule MP wa kushangombo immediately aba minister inchito yakho yachinja nomba ayaluka businessman mu government. They all want to be suppliers. 10 day say yonse yakwe na baburu bakwe. So how can the country develop when all the ministers, once they come in government, they forget to they all want to be a supplier. Bala bana kumushkumwabo kuya mkulomba amavote.
Imagine our President Mpumi. You remember Maliba PF? I remember our ECL. You started the project of Ama Fish Pond. You know the way they were doing Kunankan Northwestern Province. Quite Ama Fish Pond. Madam Nessa Villa left my hope with yes, I do about Pangaba ECL. I'm a project valid. No, I'm a project. I have a banana can have a support. You start a Panama project that I had go. Like Northwestern Province. Na kuchingola kudia. Ama fish pond yose yale fwe na ba PF oloba na yene yadi fwanchisho na yonga yadi chitata.
Kai bonse bale mutukira mu government ye muri yakalido. They all want to be government contractors, these ministers. That is the problem we have in Zambia. Government ingayaisa fye. the system is set up correctly, but it is being abused. Mwamona MP opalef mapamushi pamwakwe CDF nga yabombere kulinga nefo yabombere nimpi eshingi sana nga bali limama coffee plantation ama fish farm fyonse kuchitakani ino chitanga tulachita dry fish mu Africanica tete mube na nsala mu chalo. We can be food sufficient, but the problem is immediately a government comes in, they all want to be a supplier, contractor kulusaka. A problem to akwata.
Because I'm a fish pond, the Rabash never is here, you know, then you know, Shangaishta, we know, Shangabadi, a company, I think, you know, then Sarangata Kulino is that. But they stopped, and that's because the ICO was touching this, we are not going to do it.
Imagine.
But it was helping people.
Imagine. Nangubaka wonder, look at Munush banana scheme, Kawambwa coffee, Kawambwa chifya ya kuisa. Eh? Chani fisheries, tuwalikwete Chani fisheries. So here Pusuka Feni Zambia Sugar Company, and I hear there are some foreign people who have shares mu Zambia Sugar Company. But yeah, kumazabuka. Why can't we have a extension Zambia Sugar Company kurwa pula kudia? Vai sura kwali ba menshi. Kumongu in the floodplains kuyana kwena, they can grow. Even in northwestern and Wapula, they can grow sugar cane kudia.
Kurwa pura turi isura kule Yesu.
Well, you know, this is the simple things which people can do. Simple things to refidwa. Pamishi chief walanda fiaji, okay, aitabantu chilamuntu plant an acre of coffee. Ngani kumwini lunga, everyone plant an acre of shan. Ama banana yape mwasenda mwatwala ku government. You can sell online, shinoshiku. You can get your market online, per Facebook, TikTok, you sell your products. Yeah? It's too much, Mwandini. It is too much, and this whole thing of all the ministers, when they come to power, bonse, barebu tukiro kuya kurusaka bonse, to be government contractors. Enchitoba chita. Zambia problem yama mu Zambia. Ama ministers nga babasala fye kulusaka chapwa. Instead of going there and ensuring their communities are developed, awe kucha develop tumafumo twabo. Nokula ingisha balupwa bulubonse ba HHF ba chita. Uwe ingisha all the family. Family yabo yonse yaba mu government yaba HH. From there, no mbamba fyokula afwa yo kwete bruru kwa onse. Fuanta. Musivu service. Chuma tuale chalo kundanji. Somehow, you know, kutumalanda yoba HH bali chitefi, but this is the problem of Zambia. But HH is just that he's doing it shamelessly. But if you buy HH, a problem ya Mzambi. Merit to alifu nyapo merit. We just do things on nepotism. That's why by HH by shideno mbati ndemi pesha. Bena bati fye bruru wabonse diplomatic service. Bruru wabakashi. Na baneba kumonembwa shoba shabo shonsa shali ya diplomatic service. As long as you are connected to Aka Indenia. Everyone and their grandmother literally is in the diplomatic service because he can. Bahakainde has successfully managed to create a supreme tribe. A few people are benefiting, but abantu abanono baita benefit na Bahakainde. Ebako cha Zambia, because they are supposed to condemn Bahakainde. Bale yumfano kuyufa pakunine ndeke on taxpayers money kuya kuma diplomatic mission. Omo bale ikala muma embassy mulia kwati bali pamushi bonse balirande kitundu kimochi. Smith, the floor is yours. Bapona. Okuku 2026 oko tuleya. We need people who are just like, tap into the many opportunities that Zambia has. Turefa aba isuke chipalaka samu 2026. People who are just, they look at Western Province, cashew nuts, okay, everyone plant a cashew nut tree, In Mongo, mango yalamena. Everyone in Mongo plant a mango tree. Mumpanga mudia kula. You just plant a tree, a mango tree. I went to Germany Naide. Like bali kwata fefukati ngolenda mu park so madi bama apple trees, pear trees all over. They just plant. Kale bafi biere bachoko fiaba. There are apple trees, pear trees all over. Ingolenda so muma park, muma trails. Murifia if you mutfiama fruits and biere nomba kale bafi biere. But people are still eating. People are still eating from those fruit trees. You can tell the trees are old. But they prune them. Every year they produce fruit. People are eating. No, tapali no wingalale nsalanga. Takwe tempia kuyashita fruit. Apple mustoro. Kuyache mupai kwa mkudi ya maapo. Wali ya waikuta. This is what we need. We need to have a national awareness of planting. Plant something. Plant a fruit tree somewhere. Bananas, mangoes, takwabe nsala kumbyuku. Tapari wingalale nsala. Tapari. I went to Costa Rica. Nari papa. Costa Rica na kwenda mango trees everywhere, banana trees everywhere, mumpanga. Ni mumpanga but muriama fruit trees. Kuchumwanane nsala. Can you sleep hungry where a country, they have fruit trees everywhere? Even in Costa Rica, I went there. Costa Rica is not far from Kunokonava, Mpepe. And it's a poor country, Takuli Nefiabaku. If we are richer than Costa Rica. Yeah? But we had to cross the country driving across Costa Rica, but the drive mumpanga tamuli na muri plantations kairi mfulaila loka kwa ma plantation yama sugar cane ukonoko nga waloresha sopo Africa. There is a mango tree, there is a banana tree. Kuchi abantu balela lanti ningu fensala. So this is what we need to do. We need a revolutionary mindset to just think out of the box. We need leaders. Actually, we need a seminar. I don't know our ministers kashinga balaya na kuma seminar. Our governments, I don't even know if they go to seminars to teach them about human rights and to teach them simple things like projects they can do in their constituencies to change people's lives. Mwamkula CDF mwamkupera impia wa achikapange bridge. Na mwana ma bridge wale kula. Mandongo. They put money. For 4 years they have been putting CDF in people's hands. And what has been happening? Hi, Chichi girl.
Hi, Madam President. Yeah, the na issue pako lero na isa.
Na chisa late na chinaka na chama fio kunaka.
That's not like a na chikali na chimbaka na family and bana mjoin na nomba na mpaka chinina ka nomba ndio wewe mlela anda family na chapa na kidabo. Come to the world of Nina.
Naingira muzoni no mamaisha. I'm in the zone now. Nafurwa. Naingira ufina tawe. You know what? I have to say what is on my mind. I have to say it.
Nice and focus on innovation. I was very good at Kaonde, and I was able to hear to say, okay, what is speaking is Lamba, what is speaking is Kaonde, and for Kaonde, I was able to follow very well. I know what he's saying. Kupotesha means na tisha. He was very good. I listened to his multilinguistic.
Tuakula tu putaola tu ya nombre. Tu le saba ushamuma group.
I just wanted to, I think, make an emphasis on what you were saying about the, identifying what we can do in our respective small places. I heard one person was talking about ECO and fish ponds and whatever, fish farming. There was one time, for some reason, somehow, I found myself on a group of people who went to State House to meet ECO for something, and when we went there, the meeting didn't take place. So, you know what he did? He said, you people, since we didn't have a meeting, I'm going to take you to a place where I want to teach you something. And then we're like, oh, really? Oh, okay. You know what he did? He said, okay, you grab your cup of tea. It's nice. So we went, he grabbed our tea, one after one. He said, okay, now I can host you in my backyard farming, where I do farming. Just right there at the State House, there was a fish pond. And he started, showing us the fish. This is where we come sometimes to just. He said, this is what I've been encouraging people to do in your backyard. To say, you know what, let's be self-reliant in terms of food. So they brought even how they were doing fishing. They would throw away the food, and then the fish would come nicely. And then he said, okay, now I'm going to allow you to do some fishing. So they brought a cooler box, did a bit of fishing, and got a number of cooler box. Very interesting. So this is what the person was talking about, fish farming. For those who, if you follow ECO's vision, he focuses mainly on economic diversification and growing the and job creation, because you know what, for instance, economic diversification. Let's look at the issue of agriculture. Agriculture, we only focus mainly on maize and everything. So his vision was, can we not just focus on maize? Let's focus on other crops that we can diversify in, and by looking at it, climate resilient, kind of smart agriculture, you understand? So that in places, for instance, if you go to Siavonga, some people are not able to grow certain things. And don't go and say you are suffering because you can't grow a certain type of crop. But because you are doing climate resilient, smart kind of agriculture, you identify crops that you can grow in your area such that you don't go hungry. That's the kind of vision that ECO had. That's why he even had fish farming. Then diversification also, he looked at the issue of like for instance mining. Let's not just focus on copper. No, because everything is copper. That's why if you've noticed, we have now this kind of studulite, manganese, and whatever. You've heard of such kind of thing. Those were ECO idea to just say, let's grow our economy like that. And by so doing, you are creating jobs. And in these jobs, you remember our country is rich in resources. So when you go to, for instance, everywhere now, we've got gold. There's gold here, there's gold here, there's gold here. So if you say, let's focus on job creation. That's why now the youths that are not employed, you take them to such kind of make things like cooperatives to say, okay, these are the youths from this province, identify who is who and whatever, and make this cooperative. Like UPND, when they came there, that idea of cooperative, but it has died naturally. I don't hear of any cooperative and everything. That even CDF, I don't know how they are using it. If you make cooperatives and those cooperatives focus on what you are like good at as a province, in this way I'll call it maybe comparative advantage, then you are going to now have markets opened to other countries. For instance, you mentioned, Madam President, we have Congo. Congo is a good market for us, be it in terms of agriculture products, be it in mining products. So we have all that kind of market. We have with Namibia, almost all the countries around us. Those are two. So that's one thing that Basata did. I'm trying to make linkages to a number of issues that I'm talking about in terms of cooperatives. Then you have market, you have products that you're going to sell. Basata, one of the things that he did, I remember one of my colleagues who was working in the Ministry of Finance, he died, may so rest in peace. He said, you know what, Basata is very stubborn. He came to meet us he called us and he said, do you know what I want? They said, sir, what is it? And he said, I want to open Zambia. So it's so that, you know what, that's why we saw under PF, we had a lot of roads opened up, connecting. Maybe if you go to Northern, for instance, there's a road that they did from Bala to go to Nakonde. That road was very bad. If you are going to Kasama or you are going to that place, you have to go all the way to Mpika, go to Kasama and go around like that. That's time wasting. So he said, I'm going to open Zambia. He made the road. The road was perfect. I used that road. Perfect. Tired from Mbala to Nakonde. It made the transportation very easy. Even there's another road, I think, between Kasama and Chinsali. Instead of going all the way around like that, just cut. He opened up a number of roads for this was not just for anything else. It was to improve the market synergies and all that, so that people, when you have the produce, you are able to move your products easily in between either provinces and districts. So those are some of the things that I really appreciated about Basada, which Malungu came and also did amplify on it. And one of the other things that you look at as a country is there's a document I came across. It's called Integrated Rural Development Strategy. That Integrated Rural Development Strategy focused on identifying each of the districts, not just Lusaka, no. Remember, this is an integrated rural development. So we have our rural setup. And when you look at the population, most of the population is rural, urban, whatever. So now let's look at what is it in that rural strategy. What they looked at is for like what I'm bringing this aspect because I want to marry to what Innovative was talking about. To say we have Mwinilunga. Mwinilunga has got pineapples. Why not, have an industry in Mwinilunga which will focus on pineapple? We are going to do what? We're going to add value to the pineapples by doing what? By producing juices which we can be selling outside. That is a good strategy. Identified. The people who developed that strategy went to each and every district. That district where you identify what is the comparative advantage. Each district, as we are talking, has its own comparative advantage. Go to Kasempa. Kasempa, they're into beekeeping. Okay, so you are going to produce in what? Honey, add value, and what next? You export it. You go to Solwezi. Solwezi, there's Solwezi beans. I think also you go to, and now there's this mining and all that. So each district, in one way or the other, there's something that they can focus on. And by so doing, you are keeping your population within the district and making sure that they're employed, especially the youths. So, go to Chivombo, for instance. Chivombo, just after Chitamba, somewhere there, they do a lot of tomato production. And if you see, most of them, they just go to rot. So why not come up with an industry around there and start producing tomato paste, which you can still send and buy and export? So we have all these issues, Madam President. We go to Malabo, we go to Mongo, there's rice, there's the fish, also all that. Each part of the district, trust me, there is something that they can leverage on and grow and export. You actually even mentioned the cashew nut. Cashew nut is very, very expensive. Most people go to Mozambique to go and buy cashew nut to come and sell in Zambia. If you just buy a small cashew nut like this, it's very expensive, and we have them in Mongo. There was some, I think, efforts that Balungu tried to do to make sure that they do the cashew nut, promote it, and whatever. I don't know whether that thing is still there or not, but there was a point I realized that thing was really promoted. Balungu seemed to have, people said he had no vision or whatever, but he had a great vision for the country because he did a lot of things that I personally appreciated, despite the capitalism, which I personally said no to. That's the only thing. But in terms of growing the economy, if you look at his strategy that he had, like I was telling you, he focused on there's a document also that I read that document, the 7th National Development Plan. I think the UPND had found the 7th National Development Plan had just come to an end, and I also read about its implementation plan and what they did, where they failed, and all that, and then they came up with the 8th National Development Plan. But with the UPND, the problem is they had that 10-point plan. The 10-point plan with UPND, they failed to I don't know how they synchronized the 8 NDP and their 10-point plan. They wanted the 10-point plan to be the overall thing, like it would be the driving for the economic development and whatever. But if you check, most of the 10-point plans that they have these are programs at the lower level, and when you check in terms of building on what was good in the PF, for instance, on economic diversification and job creation, it failed to fit into that because, when you start something, if the policy is good, adopt it and grow with it. You understand? And let it build and grow your economy. But we have this policy inconsistencies whereby because PF started something good, you as UPND, you come because you want to prove a point. This was the PF, I don't want to do it. You stop all these things. That's why you hear that in Luapula province, there are a number of roads that they were constructing, but because UPND thinks no, the people who are doing the road construction, like the one madam you were saying, are contractors from PF. So now we want our own contractors. You see, so they cut all they stop all those road construction, and it affects. So because if those roads were done, it would have benefited the province, not just you as UPND. So for me, going forward, I want to have a person who has a vision for the country, not a vision for the pockets. What we are seeing is, like even having people who come today to say, oh, because I've got money, so I can be a president. So because of this, let me be the president of this and whatever. It doesn't work like that. Look at it. What vision do you have for the country? Okay, do you want a country where you come and bring the people and employ them with no experience, and eventually they fail to even to execute their duties? And this is what we are seeing right now. For a president to say, oh, you who are in diplomats who are outside, you're just sleeping and whatever, you have not brought even not one investment. Yes, because they don't understand the vision of the country. They only understand the vision for their stomach. That's why when they go there, instead of looking at, okay, what is it that is good in this country that I can take back to Zambia? Okay? They're not doing that. What is it that Zambia is lacking that when I'm in this country, I'm able to say, okay, with this is a good strategy. Let me take it back to Zambia. I'll give an example of the issue of cooperatives. The issue of cooperatives, it's a very good initiative. I've learnt a number of documents from South Korea where they developed, much of their development also, what contributed mainly to their, I think, growing their economy and whatever, is through just in some cooperatives. They've got big cooperatives and they export huge amounts of maybe vegetables, rice, and whatever to their Asian neighboring countries there, and they are growing the economy. Remember, it's about export and import, and that's why sometimes even this foreign exchange sometimes it doesn't get to stabilize because we have nothing that we're exporting. We have nothing. If we have, they will report maybe to say we've exported so much. Oh no, we have imported so much, but see, when you're exporting, what is it? Is it something that will have an impact on your economy or not? Nothing. So for me, when I look at the economy in a holistic manner and the way they have done it, I'll tell you that I'm wondering why they even say they're growing the economy at 6%. But I've always said it that 6% is mainly a projected based on the assumptions, which I really even don't understand, because what assumptions are these that they did to say the economy is going to grow at 6%? Because when you look at issues, what do they take into consideration? Is it because of the good rainfall that we had this year? Is it because of what? Is it because of... for me, it doesn't make sense. So I really don't understand. And yeah, so hunger is biblical. We come to hunger is biblical. Hunger is not biblical, but we have mismanaged our agriculture sector due to wrong policies, and that's why we are where we are. Let's encourage people to diversify. Let's not just grow maize. We can grow cotton, we can grow sunflower, we can grow millet, and things that are going to impact our maybe nutritional status, so that it takes into consideration of stunting, malnutrition, you know. Zambia is one of the people who is I think is struggling with malnutrition. I don't want to quote certain things and all that. So these are some of the things. So when you diversify, you have job creation, then you are going to impact on your nutrition status, food security. You are going to improve your security, which will impact your nutrition status of the country. So now, how is your population going to be? You are going to have a health population, because now even in terms of productivity, you are going to improve your productivity. I want to see, I'm trying to show some linkages so that people understand and appreciate, to say when you affect one policy in one sector, it affects the other issues in other sectors. Like I've said, agriculture, if we just don't diversify, we will not have food security, will not impact on our population, having a health population, and then eventually we are also not going to improve our poverty levels. Imagine everybody's doing something. Are we going to have people who are going to be poor? No, our income status are going to improve. So you need to be seeing the linkages like that, and be able to say, okay, this policy should affect this, should affect this, should affect this.
Thank you. Can we welcome Trust is joined us, Mama, as we speak. I'll just acknowledge Trust is here, and our brother man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So anyway, let me also conclude, so that I saw that we're only the three of us, so I thought you were going to, I wanted you to rest as well.
No, I'm not talking. I just wanted to welcome Trust so that Tabalemuna to ignore.
Thank you. Yeah, so, and then on top of all those things, then you start looking at your environment. How conducive is your environment? If you check now, our environment is not conducive, in that we have governance issues where we are having a lot of abductions. So we are having a lot of people, the rule of law is not followed. We're just pushing for things that will not. There's no justice. So for me, it's a lot of things surrounding our economy and how we've just failed. And because of that, that's why I'm saying no. I don't want to give President HH another second term, because when I look at what I've discussed and how we have not where we have not fared very well, I don't think he has any time for him to. He doesn't have that will to push for a better Zambia. Their agenda is totally different from the agenda of making every Zambia count, because we should ensure that every Zambia count, and therefore I want to have economic independence, which I think my trust is here, which he says independence 202. Yeah, today my mind was scattering everywhere and all that. So that's that. Let me land there. Thank you.
Powerful. We're just here chatting. We started by talking about Bill 7, Bill 13, and then I found myself talking about the members of parliament and why, it's like members of parliament, once they come into government, they become a minister, they all become businessmen, and that's why we have seen the disconnect, that like there's a disconnection. The constituencies, they are isolated from their MPs, because all the MPs become businessmen, and this is what we are talking about. So your take about Trust.
Good morning.
Good afternoon here.
And good afternoon.
Yeah.
It's interesting things that you're talking about. For me, I think it falls squarely into something I've been thinking and meditating on and studying in the last couple of weeks or so. And that has to do with political ideology. I really think that we have done ourselves a disservice in this country for not having clear political ideologies defined. Okay? What does this party believe in, and what does that party believe in, and what does that party believe in? And that is why you are able to see members of parliament, when they go to, maybe they become a minister, they become a big shot. They have no ideology that they stand on, so they go with the wind. You know, we see members of parliament, when they go into parliament, they start siding with the other side. They have no basis, they have no foundation. They are blown, you know, by the wind, okay? Whether it is the wind of power or the wind of money or, you know, the wind of popularity, and they have no foundation. Their foundation is weak. It's like their political career is built on sand. It's not built on a strong political ideology. Part of the reason why it's very difficult to unite the opposition, because right now, as we've been trying to unite the opposition, it has become more and more difficult. Sometimes even within the same political party, find that unity is difficult. Why? Because we're trying to unite people on the wrong reasons. The reasons are wrong. We're trying to unite people to remove HH. That's an objective. It shouldn't be the reason for uniting. It should be an objective that will come naturally because of the ideology that you've built your organization on. You know, even Zambia's development, it appears stunted because of wrong political ideologies, wrong social political ideologies. We need to define where we are. Now we try to borrow sometimes from the West and say, oh, left and right and center left and center right and extreme left and extreme right. But if you see the definition and the characteristics of those alignments in the Western political ideologies, you find that it is not the same. It's not the same as here in Zambia, because, for example, when you look at UNIP, you find that UNIP was on one side. They believed in owning the mines. They believed in doing things themselves. On the international level, they were non-aligned. You know, they didn't want to lean towards America, and they didn't want to lean towards China. They had friends on both sides. So they talked to Russia, they talked to China, they still talked to America. They were non-aligned. When MMD came, they leaned towards America. You know, they were all about foreign direct investment, and they were all about privatization and so on and so forth. But when PF came, PF went back to the unique kind of way where it was about owning the government, you know, I mean, owning businesses. They bought back Lap Green and changed it back to Zambia, and they got back Mopani Mine and KCM and things like that. They wanted to own again. UPND comes again, they give away the mines to the West. They go back to foreign direct investment, and they lean towards America and stuff like that. So we can see that there's a pattern here. And that's the pattern that must guide people when they go into parliament. It must guide people when they are saying let's unite. It's not. You know? I think if I had to define, I would say in Zambia we have green and red. Unlike in the West where they have left and right, we have green and red. The reds in Zambia are those who are about foreign direct investment, you know, who listen to the World Bank and they listen to IMF. They, you know, small boys, 20-odd chaps from GIZ come to monitor their budgets. They are house slaves. They believe so much in listening to white people and what they should. You know what white people are telling them? Your economy should go this way. You should kill the people in Muvumbu and scare them. They'll go and do it.
We won't pay your way. The balance we said about TikTok. Yeah. We always yeah.
So at the end of the day, we have the Reds who are into this. They have got this leaning towards the West, and they want to please the West, and they want to build the economy based on the ideas that are transplanted from the West into an economic, an economic weather and climate that is not conducive for those ideas. And they plant those ideas in a climate here in Africa, and the ideas fail to grow, and they are surprised 5 years down the line. They are saying that the economy is growing, but it's only growing on graphs. In real life, it doesn't grow. Why? Because they are transplanting economic ideas from one economic environment and climate into another one that is not the same. The Greens, on the other hand, are those who are defiant. They are about leaving no one behind. They are about pro-poor policies. They are about, building infrastructure for the local people. They are about building accessible healthcare and things like that for poor people. That kind of thinking, if we say now, let's unite the opposition, it becomes easy. It becomes easy because if we say, okay, political party number A, are you green leaning or you're red leaning? They'll say, okay, now we are green leaning. And so then let's work together. Because it's not just about winning an election, it's about developing the nation. So if you have got similar ideologies, you will develop, even your manifestos will be similar. You'll be saying, let's build hospitals. You'll be saying construction is a source of economic growth. Because you're in the same boat of thinking, other than the ones who say, no, economic growth comes from paying debt. You are saying, no, economic growth comes from stimulating the economy through construction. You are clear, so you are able to now say, okay, who thinks like us? Okay, UNIP is like this. Okay, who else? Oh, FDD is like this. Who else is